Hello everyone, this is Karon3 now giving you Game 9 in this series between Karon3 and MVP. And who is it going to be from MVP? It is going to be Swagger. Now, one thing I did want to announce for you, all of you StarCraft 2 fans out there, I've been in discussions with the TESL, the Taiwan Esports League, and now that I have the ability to log into the Korean-Taiwan BattleNet, I'm actually going to be doing their English casting. So, yeah, this is all just an experiment right now. I don't even know if a lot of you guys out there knew that there was a Taiwan Esports League. They have a number of teams. Obviously, Sen and softball plays there. Also, I heard that Zubu's Top is going to be making a guest appearance along with Zubu's San. So should be some really interesting games. Hopefully, my very expensive internet connection will not cause lag for the players. And if it doesn't cause lag for the players, then I should be able to cast with no harm, no foul. Okay, let's take a look what's going down here. Swagger over here on the bottom right-hand side of the map. He is the red Protoss representing MVP. Meanwhile, on the top left-hand side of the map, we have Vortex spotting as the yellow Zerg. So Zerg versus Protoss once more, as Swagger now opening up with the Mothership Core expansion build. I really like this particular opening. I am surprised that Swagger hasn't gotten down his second assimilator as of yet. I thought that the timing on that was to get that second assimilator up slightly faster. Perhaps this isn't the Mothership Core build, as, well, obviously the next building would be that Cybernetics Core. So we'll have to keep a close eye on this. What exactly is Swagger doing? Is Swagger going to be getting up that second assimilator? If so, when? So far, he just has enough gas for, he just has enough gas for that warp gate research. And will he have enough gas for that Mothership Core and to be able to try to hold that expansion location here? So far, Vortex has moved down with this Overlord and has scouted out his opponent. Now, some of you guys, if you guys watched some of my live casts, you may have heard that I say if Zerg players were forced to play on the smaller maps, they would actually do much better right now. The reason behind this, not because that Zerg players don't want to play an economic game. No, that's definitely the case. They want to play an economic game, but the Overlord is about 20% faster, or even 30% faster moving across the field. Their movement speed used to be a 0.45. Now their movement speed is a 0.59. So yeah, over 30% faster in getting across the field. Could you imagine how fast Overlords could scout out your opponent on, say, Lost Temple or Metalopolis? Those are all things where what the Zerg player can do with all that information, we still don't know. Now, Swagger does have that Mothership Core. He does have a Time Warp ready to go, and he will most likely have that Photon Overcharge ready right as that Nexus appears. So I have just been educated. I now know you do not need to get double gas early on if you are going for that Mothership Core expansion. That Mothership Core pretty much saying, you know what? I'm a flying harassment unit that can take down Zerglings and can give a 15 range cannon onto a Nexus. Nothing is getting in these walls, at least not in the first 7 minutes here. Harvester count, 29 versus 36. Vortex playing a very strong economic game, and will he be able to recreate the magic that he did in Game 8? He was able to set up a ninja expansion, sacrificing his natural only to transfer all of the drones to the ninja expansion, and then push back over the top with an even stronger Mutalisk Corruptor count. Mutalisk Corruptor, surprisingly effective. I guess on paper we knew that Corruptors beat Phoenixes, and the Mutalisks were just always well protected. If those Corruptors were within range, the Phoenixes just couldn't do very much at all. Let's come back over here as the Mothership Core is now making its way over here to the top right-hand side of the map. No Queens are going to be in position at all. and this mothership core may actually come out slightly ahead. Roaches should be coming out, and it looks as though, yes, the mothership core doesn't want to engage. It is still a rather expensive unit and doesn't want to risk anything at all. So far, Overlords pretty much catching sight of everything Swagger's gonna do, and I am surprised that Swagger is allowing this Overlord to see everything it needs to see. We are still running on only one gas right now. This absolutely blows my mind. This is going to be a Zealot Immortal push. This is a very strange build. Mass Zealots, no weapons upgrade at all. And this is going to be going up against Roaches. The Roaches are going to be very effective as the Zealots, one, do not have weapons upgrade, and two, they do not have charge. They are not going to be able to get within melee range that quickly. But then again, if you have sheer numbers, which we may have, as we're warping in 5 additional gateways in the backfield, 5 more gateways with 2 more here. This is gonna be a total of 7 gateways plus a robotics facility. This is a crazy number, and Vortex still doesn't know about all of these gateways in the back here. This could potentially be huge. Swagger gonna all of a sudden warp a whole bunch of warp gates, upgrade a whole bunch of warp gates onto the field. There you have it. And now Zealots should be warping all across the map. No, that's a mothership core. Where is that proxy pylon? Where is it being placed down? The Overlord now finally spots it, goes, oh my goodness, that is a whole bunch of gateways, warp gates. What am I gonna do here? 5 more Zealots now reaching themselves onto the field. Warp Prism now getting chrono boosted out, does not have the speed research, but it will be able to warp in units rather quickly. Now, the Zealot is, I believe, the fastest build time unit that is to supply. No, actually, I think Roach actually beats it. So we'll see what's going to be happening here. Zerglings now trying to make their way in. Is the front door completely walled off? I don't think so. I think that you can actually walk in through here. This is actually going to be a very, very interesting play. Are the Immortals? Time Warp, beautifully done. Zealots now trying to engage here, and that Time Warp dealing so much damage. Warp Prism now warping in more Zealots and adding in some Stalkers as well as the Roaches are trying to engage. Here we go, the Zealots and the Immortals, both sides engaging here. Mothership Core joining in on the fight. Zerglings trying to get underneath, but not going to be able to as the Immortals are going after Roach after Roach. Zealots now trying to engage as well as Vortex is going to try and hold this off. So far, a lot of units have fallen from both sides. Immortal finally taken down. You can see more units, a whole bunch of Zealots fresh and ready to go, going to be coming back in again. Stalkers now trying to engage here. All right, Zealots and Roaches. Swagger is doing a really great job here. Army supply 37 to 48. Zealots still engaging as the Warp Prisms should be able to warp in more Zealots here in just a moment. All right, no real way to take down this Warp Prism at all. The Queen unable to get over there as the Stalkers and the Zealots ready to go once more. All right, also this Mothership Core adding in a lot of damage. We can see that there is still enough for 1 recall and also 1 time warp as the Roaches are moving around very, very quickly at the natural expansion. All right, Army supply 53 to 31. Vortex is slightly larger. Worker supply, Vortex is slightly larger as well, but is it going to be enough to get all the units? All the units are coming in a single file line for Vortex. Meanwhile, Swagger gets them right into the battlefield here in a giant wave. Warp Prism now making its way over as the Mothership Core still engaging. And this is looking, I believe, bad for Swagger. Swagger now has not dealt enough damage to really take down all the Roaches. Vortex doing an amazing job taking out the Immortals first. And with this, I do believe that Vortex will be forced, or Vortex will come out ahead of this engagement. Worker supply still slightly ahead here, but what is going to be happening? Vortex already looking about what his transition out will be. You can see that the Mothership Core still engaging, and that Mothership Core needs to get away. Will it be able to, as the Queens are now underneath it? Down to 50, 48 hit points, 32, 24, 16, 8. And it is able to escape. Beautifully done, but Swagger day late, $1 short, no upgrades, not enough Immortals in that composition, and now finally getting up onto gas. All right, I do not want to say that it's a 2 base That is essentially a 2-base all-in, but is it going to be enough as Vortex now comes back over the top? Mothership Core now trying to engage. All right, there is the Roaches simply taking that down. There's the Photon Overcharge, and you can see how much damage, or just the sheer absurd range of this Nexus here. The Nexus getting in some kills. A new Immortal has popped out. Are we going to see another engagement? Probes getting pulled from the line. Is it going to be enough? The Mothership Core constantly attacking. Only one Immortal left to stop the entire Roach army. Meanwhile, a Zealot drop inside the main, perhaps trying to trade base for base. Vortex taking a look and trying to establish up this base off over here. Worker supply 40 to 27. And this Nexus has dealt a lot of damage already, but it looks like the Nexus still may fall. 6 kills. Photon Overcharge has come to an end. And with that, I believe the game will be coming to an end. Nope, a new round of Zealots and Stalkers now coming back over here. Roaches are not going to be able to push through nearly as easily. More reinforcements coming in from the back. Vortex going to be losing his Roach Warren. And also another thing to note is that the Roaches are upgraded 0-1. Zerglings are upgraded 1-1 as the Stalkers are going after the Roaches still. Vortex. Wow, Vortex and Swagger, they are only difference by 40 supply here. The Roaches have nowhere to run as the Roaches are now trying to engage. The Stalker is going to come back over and get surrounded, but the Mothership Core may get off 1 or 2 more kills. There is still a Zealot there, and it is now 2 mining bases to 1. All right, down goes this last Roach. There it goes. Perhaps we should be seeing more Chrono Boost on the Nexus in order to get more probes out. What is going to be this follow-up play? The front door completely wide open. No Immortals. Nothing to show for it. And worker supply 18 to 60. All right, so army supply in favor of Vortex. Worker supply in favor of Vortex. Swagger not holding much of that right now. You can see that Swagger currently just has an observer off here. He can see what's going on at that additional base. Nothing really happening here as the spawning pool and the evolution chambers are going to start melting. We are still at tier 1 and tier 1 only for the Zerg after he lost his main layer there. Actually, did he even tech to layer? I don't believe so. Queens out on the field. Nothing really indicating whether or not Spire is on the field. So yes, we did get up to a layer here. Spawning pool is going to start melting away. Evolution chambers are now melting away as well. This is definitely not looking good. I do not believe the hatchery, the hatchery may be done in time, but will the creep actually spread over in time? That is important to ask as well. Swagger sitting at 41 over 98. Vortex 126. And Vortex just knowing, you know what? I just need to mine gas. Give me Mutalisk, and I will take out my opponent where it hurts. Take it, or yeah, just take out all the probes, lose the economy. And what is this, though? Swagger somehow assuming or knowing about this, and we should be seeing that Photon Overcharge. There it is. And there it goes. The Mutalisk now trying to go after all of these pylons. One Phoenix will be making its way out, but Swagger does have to say GG. Unable to take the victory with that 2-base all-in Zealot Immortal push. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening.